Let me pass on some revelation that I got today to you guys. A friend of mine was visiting me from out of town today. Before she left, we decided to go to the park. There was a point while there where she felt a drop on her cheek. It was cloudy, all the signs said that it might rain, but we decided to lay a blanket down anyway and sit for a second, thinking maybe the rain will pass. 30 seconds into us sitting there, all of a sudden the rain starts coming down a little harder. We pack our things and we run to my car. I got a little bit wet in the process, but by the time I started my car and drove off a little bit, I was pretty much dry. But we were both kind of peeved that we had gotten wet in the first place. But y'all, as I was going down the road, it was pouring down so much I had to use my hazards. And I thought about all the other people that were still at the park, even though they both experienced the same signs as us. As a matter of fact, I knew people who were heading to the park yet and still. Here's the revelation. First of all, we have to stop waiting for grandiose signs for us to exit people's lives. The drop on her cheek should have been enough for both of us to decide that we weren't going to try and stay. But we were so committed to having a good time, we risked our well-being and comfort. But we were smart enough to, you know what, it's sprinkling a little bit, let's go. So we got wet, but not too wet, and we're able to enjoy the rest of our day. But for the people who brought tents, who were still pursuing this particular endeavor, thinking that they would be okay, I'm pretty sure that they were soaking wet, even with tents or any other things that they thought would help them through whatever was coming. There's levels to grace. When God shows you, or when your discernment tells you that you should not be in a particular relationship with somebody, stop waiting for the downpour. Stop betting that bad will turn to good just because you're there. The sky has always been what it's been. It will rain at the drop of a dime, and it could be shiny and sunny. But the fact that all of the conditions were right for it to continue to rain, and choosing to see it through because maybe what's on the other side is better than you being soaking wet, is foolishness. Oftentimes in our relationships, we see all of the signs and symptoms that things are going to go from bad to worse. Not bad to good, bad to worse. And we decide to gamble thinking that maybe we are the exception to the rule. You're not. And then you waste time and you end up being bitter because you're soaking wet, when you could have been in a dry and comfortable environment and waited on better conditions to come along for you to enjoy yourself. So while we should have left at the first drop, we had enough sense to leave during the drizzle. But from now on, please know I'm taking a raindrop as a sign for me to get the heck out of there. Because sometimes it does clear up, but more often than not, it doesn't. I don't know, maybe this was just for me, but if it was for you too, grab your stuff and let's go.